guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. If you are seeing me today, I wanted to channel some messages from a departed loved one for you. I wanted to also jump on here to talk about grief. I know that if you've lost a loved one recently, it can be a very difficult time. I lost my mom 2 years ago to pancreatic cancer, and my life has definitely never been the same since. We were very close. She was more like a best friend than a mom, and she was the glue that held our family together. And there's a noticeable difference in all of our lives when she is not in it. And I wrote my book, Beautiful Mourning. I just recently released this. I'm very proud of it and excited because this is dedicated to her. And it's the story of my journey losing her and other family members, going through the grief process and being able to come out on the other side with a better understanding of what grief is and how to process it. And one of the things that really helped me out whenever I was grieving, I will never forget this day. We were standing at the hospital. We had to make the difficult decision to turn off her life support and to just let her go. We had just said our goodbyes. We just stood around her hospital bed. She has 3 children. I had one of her hands. My brother or sister had another hand, and the other one was also standing, with their hand on her. We were watching the machine as she was breathing, and her breathing was getting really labored. And I saw her take one last really hard breath. And I said, that was it, so we said our goodbyes and let her go. And we were so sad and devastated, but I'll never forget, I called the minister who she had wanted to perform her funeral. And when I called him, he said something to me that almost made me snap back into reality, if you will. We were so overwrought with grief, understandably. But he said to me, "Oh, Melissa, if we could only see what she's seeing right now." And it gave me some comfort. And I thought I would share that story with you because I know that losing a loved one is really hard. The grieving is for us. Our loved ones, when they pass on and they get to the other side, they're not grieving. They're not sad. They're celebrating. My mom left a body that had turned against her, right? She was not able to do all of the things she wanted to do. She couldn't even walk at the end or feed herself. And she was a very lively person. So that had to feel like a prison, being held in her own body like that. So being able to hear him say to me, "Oh, what she must be seeing right now," brought tears to my eyes and still makes me choke up when I think about it. But the grieving is the human part of us that loses that person. But the person is really, their soul is eternal and lives on and is still with you and probably trying to get your attention on the daily. It's their presence that we miss. And it's our human side that wants to keep them here and wants them back. But thinking about that one thing, I said that if I could have my mom back, and I talk about this in my book, if I could have her back, I wouldn't bring her back because I would be bringing her back for me and being selfish and wanting her hugs and all of the love that she provided me. But that would be selfish on my part. My bringing her back would be to comfort me, not for her. If she could come back, she wouldn't want to. And I don't say that because she doesn't love us. But it's beautiful where she is. There is no more pain. There's no suffering. There's only love. She wouldn't want to come back, even if she could. She wouldn't want to come back into that body that betrayed her. And so that has been one thing that has helped me to get through my grief, is to understand that she's not sad. I'm grieving for myself. She's happy, and I need to learn to also be happy for her. Because if I could see what she was seeing right now, I would say, "Oh yeah, I understand. You stay there. You don't want to come back to this." So I thought that I would pull a few cards for you from the Talking to Heaven deck in hopes that maybe it'll give you a little more comfort. Maybe you'll get a little closure with something. And, if this is something that's helpful to you, I highly recommend checking out Beautiful Mourning. In it, I talk about the stages of grief, and I give you some tools and tips for moving through each stage of grief and telling you what my grief was like so that you don't feel alone and you understand this is a normal part of life. We all go through it. Everyone grieves. So I want to give you some messages. If you would like to think of someone that you've lost, and we're going to see what messages want to come out. But first of all, I have to say, they want me to tell you that they're still always very much with you. Okay. Yeah, so we have, I send you loving signs through nature. So they're trying to show you that they're with you by sending you signs through nature. You may see birds. I know I see a lot of cardinals and butterflies. Those seem to be the symbols that my mom likes to send. The earth is our school, so we're here to learn lessons. I said this in my book, and I will say it again. I think this is hell. This is the hell. Don't get me wrong. There are parts of life that are beautiful and wonderful, but this is the hard part. This is where we're here to learn. And learning is often really difficult. On the other side, it's not like that. I have a new understanding. So we don't always see the big picture. And when we get to the other side, it's like we have our aha moment. We see everything for what it was. So they're learning when they get to the other side ways they could have lived life a little differently, a little better. And they're using that too to try to help you. This says, I will always point you in the right direction. So your loved one is helping to show you the right way to live. I know this is true because I've had things happen in my own life where I know when my mom was here in her human form, she might not have been so forgiving of certain things. And on the other side, I keep getting messages from her, forgive, forgive, forgive. You need to forgive. So I think one of the things that she's learned being over there is we need to forgive. We came here to experience unconditional love in all of its forms. And sometimes that means loving people where they are and forgiving people. It doesn't mean that we allow people to take advantage of us or to do things to us. That's not what that means. Forgiveness means I choose to let go of the heavy emotions that cause me pain, to forgive you so I can move on and be happier in my own life. That's what that means. I want to live a happier life, and you're not going to be able to live a life that's super happy and joyful if you're mad and angry and resentful all the time. So let those emotions go. They're too heavy. They've learned on the other side, you need to forgive. You need to, look at things from a perspective of love. They're all around you. Look for the signs they send you. If you would like a full reading with me, you can go to my website, melissaopen.com, and I do offer half-hour readings and hour readings. I will never reach out to people, so if someone does, that's not me. You can go to my website, though, or you can reach out. If you would like more guidance on how to work through grief, my book, Beautiful Mourning, is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Apple Books. Again, if you've ever gone through grief, it is a way for you to feel that you're not alone. And there are also useful tips in here for how to work through your grief and to get through it with more grace and ease. It is a dedication to my mom, who, was a teacher her whole life and really tried to make the world a better place. And I'm hoping that in doing this, I'm helping others, and maybe I will be following in her footsteps. So remember, your loved ones are around you. They're happy, they're celebrating, they don't want you to be sad, but of course that's a natural part of the human existence. So try to work through your grief and know that they want you to move on and live happy and experience joyful memories. I hope that you guys have a beautiful day. I hope this helped in some way. If you would like to follow me, I have a podcast, Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness. It's a weekly podcast devoted to all things spirituality and self-improvement. I have the book Beautiful Mourning. I also have my first book, Beautifully Broken, which is about surviving a toxic marriage and rebuilding my life after that. And I would love to work with you. So you can follow me. Have a beautiful night. Sending you so much love and light.